Hello fellow amateur radio friends, this is Owen70FF, the binary guy in Belgium. Today I want to talk about the Micro PA50 amplifier, and today in the mail was the Micro PA50 Plus. There are quite a lot of videos going around about the Micro PA50. It's a perfect little amplifier for QRP radio like the Hermes Lite. Or the Hermes Lite Plus, and if you have a QRP radio, well, this is a very good amplifier you could use together with your QRP radio and bring up the power to more or less about 50 watts with 5 watt input. So it's rated 5 watt input, maximum output 50 watts. I never use my amplifiers to the edge of the possibilities, so in general I will use it up to 30, maybe 35 watts of output, and I will tune the input power accordingly. Today I want to explain you the differences between the Micro PA50 and the Micro PA50 Plus. And let me start first on how you can find out the firmware. It will become very clear in the video why this is an important thing. Now, when I just put the electricity, you can see here the firmware is 2.5. Okay, so when I turn it off and turn it on, this is how you can figure out what is the firmware. And here it says 2.5, which is actually the latest firmware for the Micro PA50. More about this in a few seconds. Now, what is the main difference between the Micro PA50 and the Micro PA50 Plus? Well, obviously the Plus is the newest version of the Micro PA and has a few updates that is interesting, and also has taken out a few of the bugs that a lot of Micro PA50 users were suffering from, namely the HighSWR bug that was going around and made this device quite difficult to use. Let me just first talk about the Micro PA50 itself, and then I will talk about the Micro PA50 Plus. This is my Micro PA50. I've been using it for quite some time now. I think I have this now for about maybe a month or 3-4, maybe a little bit longer. I'm just gonna put the cable a little bit more firmly in the jacket. The Micro PA50 itself is a very nice little amplifier. It has a lot of security features built in. And one of the security features built in, or the main security features, is that you have, first of all, the HighSWR security in the amplifier. The second thing that you will have in the amplifier is security against high temperature. So once it exceeds a certain temperature, it will shut off, or it will beep and it will shut off. You also have the security built in regarding high input. So if you have too high input, it will also block the amplifier, so you cannot overdrive the amplifier. So as I stated before, this amplifier is rated 5 watt input, and the output power will be also about 40 to 50 watts. And the Micro PA50 also has auto sensing, so it will automatically switch between the different bands. So it has auto sensing also for TX, although it also has a little jack on the back right here, HCC, and this one can be used together with, for example, just a PTT. So if you put it in short, it will eventually go into TX mode, and it will also be able to communicate with the AGC or ACC here in the back. It will also be able to communicate with devices like a Xiegu radio, and also with ICOM apparently. Now, I'm not using this feature because obviously I'm just using the TT software with my Hermes Lite, and I find this amplifier a very good amplifier because it has all the filters built in. So the output, I don't have a spectrum analyzer, so don't ask me how clean it is, but I haven't had too many problems of QRM, and I have not had any issues so far with the amplifier, although I've been using it for a fully 2 to 3 months now. So, and it really works relatively well, with the exception of the issue of the high SWR. So basically, the main issue with this one has been resolved with the Micro PA50 Plus, which is high SWR reading, although there is no SWR, especially on bands like 17 and 15 meters. Now, there is a workaround, and apparently this workaround did very well the trick, but it is not the way or the optimal route to use this workaround. I will talk about in a few seconds. As you can see, I've got a little fan on top of my Micro PA50, and the reason is simple. For some reason, unfortunately, the small fan that is on the back here did not work from the very first day. It got stuck, and of course, because of the high temperature protection built into the device, it went into protection quite quickly when I was using it. Now, when I make it work by helping and let it spin, it was quite noisy, and I found it annoying. So I personally decided to go another route, and I wanted to eventually drill a few holes in the enclosure. So I have this here, and I put this computer fan on top, so the amplifier is less noisy, because apparently the small little fans that are built in are quite noisy. The workaround for the high SWR. So what is this all about? The high SWR apparently issue has to do with especially the 15 meter and the 17 meter band. And what happens is that the amplifier goes into security easily and quickly, and therefore the workaround is to add a resistor in parallel with resistor R35 that is right here. You see my finger, and you can see there is a small other resistor, SMD resistor, 49R9, and I put a resistor on top that has a value of 68 ohms. So 68R or 68 ohms, and this resolved the issue. It did not disable the SWR protection, but it got rid of the very annoying beeps, because this amplifier, when it goes into security, it just goes like beep, 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 and it's quite annoying. So I got rid of this issue permanently by adding this little resistor. Now, I saw a couple of posts, and I saw also communication from the guy who designs these amplifiers in China, and he said, please do not do that. It's not a good solution, because you actually temper the protection of the amplifier, and you might end up frying one of the transistors. So basically, I am going to remove this little resistor here that I put in parallel in the future. But before I do that, I have to wait until this one arrives. And I will make a separate video about this, because this actually is a small serial port to USB device. And you can use this to update or upgrade the firmware. And the new firmware, which is version 2.5, which you saw on the Micro PA50 Plus, is going to eventually get rid of the issue of the high SWR reading, and you need to update the firmware. Now, I will make a separate video regarding this, and I will make this particular firmware available once I upload the video. I hope I will get this particular serial port to USB adapter very quickly, so I can show it to you guys and make this particular firmware available very quickly for you guys, so you can update your Micro PA50. Now, if you don't own one of these, maybe make a note of it already order the little serial to USB port adapter. So by the time you will get it, my video will be available, and you can follow the instructions on how to update and upgrade your firmware and get rid permanently. And then in case you still have a resistor in parallel with the R36, just remove it so you're back in the original state of the Micro PA50 amplifier. Okay. What is nice about this amplifier is that this particular amplifier is using the IRF 530 transistors. These transistors are actually not made specifically for HF operation, but with all the electronics around it, they have been able to make the frequency of these IRF 530N transistors work up to 28. Well, they claim it goes up to 28.5 megahertz, but I have been able to use this up to 29 megahertz without any issue and without any loss of power output. So although it's rated 28.5, I saw that the manufacturer also updated with the Micro PA50 Plus that actually it is usable up to the 30 megahertz band or frequency, so the entire 10 meter band. I bought a couple of these in case of, because I did this modification. I said maybe the IRF 530N transistors might just maybe go blank, and I said okay, let's buy some spares, which I never had to use so far, so lucky. Okay. And believe it or not, but 10 of these pieces, they cost you exactly 3.23 euro. So shipping included. So it's absolutely insane how cheap these transistors are. And in case you have a failure, I think it's a very good power amplifier, because these transistors are extremely cheap. And the cost of repair is going to be very, very low. If you have two right hands, it's going to be very easy to do the replacement. But so far so good. Even with the resistor right here, I never had any issues. By the way, my amplifier, I never run my amplifiers to the maximum capacity. I only use my amplifiers for SSB voice, so I'm not using FT8, I'm not using data, I'm not using CW, and I never ever go beyond the power of 25 to 35 watt of output. The reason is simple, because I'm using this in combination with this particular amplifier, which is the HLA 300 plus HP. And when I put this one is rated for 35 watt input maximum, and when I run 35 watts over here, I get a very nice 300 to 350 watt output, which is more than enough. I also have my OM2000 Plus, but I'm currently testing this particular amplifier because I'm going to use this for my operations in Hotel Sierra in Thailand. And the footprint is very small of this amplifier with this amplifier, and then you got my Hermes light here. So if you look at the footprint, it's very, very small. Okay, let me just go over the menu of the Micro PA50 or Micro PA50 Plus. The first of all difference between Micro PA50 and Micro PA50 Plus is that the screen is just a little bit bigger, okay, as you can see. And also the firmware here is 2.5. Now there will be an update for this one, and as I told you, I will make a separate video on how to update it, and I will make this Micro PA50 firmware update 2.5 available in the near future. Another difference is that the Micro PA50 is a little bit less sensitive. And the buzzer, which goes like beep, 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 when the protection just jumps in, before it jumps in, it will already have a few beeps to tell you that maybe you're overdriving the amplifier. This is what is stated. I've not experienced it yet. I got this Micro PA50 Plus just in the mail just earlier on today, and I have not tested it to the full extent. if you are using the Micro PA50 or Micro PA50 Plus, the menu is exactly the same for both. This button here is just to turn it on and off, so if you long press, it will turn off the amplifier. The screen will still be available, and what is nice, if you actually use your radio, and you can use this amplifier and bypass it by turning it off, and when you bypass the amplifier, it can handle up to, according to the documentation, about 100 watts. I will put the manual, because they just come in a carton box. I will put the manual in the description so you can download the manual for yourself, and you can evaluate, or you can read the manual easily, so I'll make it available. But basically, if you do not use the power amplifier, this can be also used as a SWR meter and a power meter. So if I just turn on my Hermes light and I just go and transmit. Okay, so let me just go to other band here. Then you will see that it will do the readout for you. Audio 1 2, audio 1 2, and you can see I'm on the 15 meter band. You can see that it eventually jumped over to the 15 meter band. Okay. Now when I go, for example, to 17 meter, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, you can see that it jumped over to the 17 meter band automatically. Okay, so that is also nice. Although it's turned off. Okay, so it will eventually be able to read the power output and also the SWR. Now when I turn it on, I have to just long press. And I just do test, 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 1 2 3. As you can see, I get about 30 to 35 watts out. And as you can see, my meter is hanging to a specific power. I will tell you right away how you can do that. The power amplifier has different, how could I say, settings. And it depends on the number of times that you push on this FN, so the function button. So if I press 2 times, it will eventually change the delay time. This is convenient if you are using the auto sensing feature. Now, if you're not using the auto sensing feature, you just have to use this ACC input here, and you actually, when you make a short between pin number, the mass, and pin number 3, I think, you will eventually be able to, let me show it to you. This is the manual, and as you can see here, it says PTT. Okay, so if you make a short between the PTT and pin number 3, that will make the transceiver go into TX mode. Now, if you have and you own a Hermes light, you can go to your Hermes light here, and I'm trying to turn it around because I've got some issues here. So you have something like PTT, you have this one, and you have to interconnect this one with the ACC of your Micro PA50. Let me mute my KTs here so you can hear me better. So eventually this is where you can easily PTT by just using the ACC feature. So double clicking will go through the sequence of the different delay. Okay, so let me just, okay, BKIN. This means that it's turned off basically. So back in, it means that now I'm using the ACC feature completely. It's not doing the auto sensing, but if I would pull it out, it will do the auto sensing anyway. So that's a nice feature of this little amplifier. When I press 3 times, you actually can change the band. But as you can see, I am now on the 17 meter on 18 megahertz. And if I start to TX, audio, 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 you will see that it will automatically still switch over, although I selected the 15 meter band, so the auto sensing is doing its job. This here gives you the temperature of the device. This here will give you the frequency, of course, and also the voltage. Also, when you TX, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you got a couple of lines here that will tell you the audio, audio. Okay, so you can see audio, audio. Okay, so you can see that eventually you can see how much power you're using. Okay, so let me just go into TX mode again and turn on the power, audio. Okay, I'm just very low power right now in the input. Okay, so audio, audio, very low power on input, but yeah, even with only 400 milliwatts, I'm able to already transmit and give about 5 watts out. Let me go to 15 meter audio. I turn on the power here, and you can see I got about 40 whiskies, which is more than enough for the drive of my HLA50 with a full output power of my deities. Now, I really don't recommend to push this amplifier to the maximum power, 50 watt. If you have 35 watt and 50 watt, I don't think people will see the difference in your signal. Just keep this amplifier within the ratings, and I think you will never be able to fry up the transistors. Okay. Another thing, oh yeah, this scrolling here, it's just because the frequency of the screen here, this is in reality, you don't see this scrolling, of course. You know, this has to do with the frequency of the hertz of my camera. Okay, now if you push 5 times, because 4 times there is nothing, as you can see, 4 times does not do anything, but if you 3, 4, 5, you actually can switch between the XIEGO and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the ICOM. This is true if you're using the ACC connector in the back and you connect it with an ICOM radio or a XIEGO radio. Now, in my case, I'm using the Hermes light, so it does not have any effect. When I press 6 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you will see RT, which actually means that real-time reading of your power. So if I talk 1, 2, 3, you can see that it jumps very quickly, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is power hold, and now it will have a better. You can easily see the power. It will hold it for maybe a second or half a second, and the readability of your maximum output power is going to be easier. So I prefer to use the power hold meter feature. If you press 8 times, you will be able to turn off the security protection of the power amplifier, which is not recommended. And to do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It will give you a warning. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want to lose my warranty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it just goes back. So, but that way you can actually disable the security, a couple of securities, which is not recommended with the amplifier. Okay, this is a short, well, 23-minute video is not too short, but this is a video about the Micro PA50. If you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to answer in the next video where I will update and upgrade the firmware. And let me know if this video has been useful for you. 73s from ON7OFF. Greetings and thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel.